you know, I came to the conclusion that I had a problem with drugs and alcohol for, you know, for a while, but I wasn't sure exactly the best way to fix it. So for a second, you know, I was trying to do that through counseling, you know, and my counselor recommended that I try an AA meeting. And at that point, you know, I was willing to at least check it out. I don't know how open-minded I was, but I, you know, decided that it was worth at least going. And, you know, it felt really, really awkward, like pull up to this church, which was weird. Like, why is this in a church, you know? And then you go inside and I just remember, you know, everybody was just happy and laughing and talking back and forth to each other and like kind of joking with each other. And I thought it was like a handlebar mustache convention. I was like, I'm not in the right place. Like, I don't have the right facial hair for this place.
Yeah.
But, which is obviously a joke, but it speaks to the kind of judgment or what you might think about the people that are in those rooms, right? At first, they're definitely not like me. That was the biggest thing.
Sure.
And then they would talk, and you know, and I introduced myself as a newcomer, and then I remember somebody after the meeting like gave me a book and wrote their phone number in the book, and
the AA Big Book.
Yeah, the AA Big Book.
Okay.
And gave me their phone number and you know, told me to call. And it was just I was like, what are you getting out of this? Like, what, you know, there was obviously some, I assumed that this person had a motive. Like, why would you take the time to, you know, to reach out to me and explain all this to me? And it didn't make any sense to me, you know. And I left, you know, just going, all right, well, I guess I checked it out. I don't know that I need to see that again, but
yeah.
But it was, you know, like you said, it planted the seed for sure, because there definitely was some sort of something that these people obviously were getting. They were happy and cheerful, and you know, like honestly, like I'm not sure that I believed it. Like.
No.
You know, they would talk about how they were sober or how they hadn't drank, and I was just like, bullshit. Because at that point in my life, like I couldn't fathom a group of people like that were all sober, just because it was such a big part of my life and what I was doing on a daily basis, and the people that I associated with as well, that I couldn't fathom that there was a group of people that weren't religious that you know, didn't drink.
Sure.
It was kind of crazy, but
yeah, it's good though, right? Like, I mean, you know, it's been such a process for me, you know, because I went to that first meeting, and then eventually I went to several meetings while I was locked up that particular time. And then I got out, and you know, I told the people that I was going to be getting out, and they gave me a meeting list, which is something that you can get. A meeting list is just a list of meetings probably in your area with addresses of times and places where people are having AA or NA or OA meetings. And they gave me a meeting list, and I went to one. And I've never forgotten this, because I walked from my parents' house to the meeting place, right? I walked. And as I was walking up, about a block away from the meeting was the dealer. Okay. And I got there, and I was standing in front of this church door, and I was a fucking mess. I was just a wreck. And I was thinking, fuck, I can just scooch over to homeboy's house.
Sure,
you know?
Sure.
What am I doing here? And like, I didn't seem to have the physical ability to open the door myself. I just was like, oh my fucking God. I couldn't believe how hard it was to go into this meeting. And so I decided to go get high. I'm like, fuck, can't do it. Fuck this. And I turned around, and the door opened. And there was a guy standing there like, hey, you here for the meeting? And yeah. And I went in, and it was him and another lady that didn't really speak English. Me, him, and that lady at my very first meeting outside of jail.
3-person meeting?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so these meetings, they can go from, like you said, you know, me and you having a meeting,
right,
to several hundreds and even thousands of people. And so, it took me a long time to gain the sobriety that I have now, but meetings were a constant from the time I started going to meetings. I always knew that it was a place for me to go because I did believe the people there, I did believe that there was something to the whole recovery movement, and there was something to the 12-step program in itself as far as wanting, being able to change your life through a process that's usable, that could make sense, And even though I didn't do the 12 steps for a really long time. I just went to meetings.
Right.
I'd go and I'd drink coffee and people would tell me, hey, keep coming back. Fuck, people want me to come back.
Right.
I guess I'll keep coming back.